Two U.S. lawmakers from Texas presented a bill today to quickly move the tens of thousands of immigrant children through the process of trying to get them back home. And we've seen protests first in California, and now today we want to talk about Arizona. More protests near a youth camp there. This is near Tucson. Buses were expected earlier today, but then, well, the plan just changed. People on both sides of the border crisis becoming frustrated trying to get their message across.
You guys are heartless! You should be ashamed to call yourself Christian! You should be ashamed to call yourself Christian!
I'm brokenhearted for these children, but this is why I think it's important for America and the UN, if they want to get involved, to get into these countries and make these countries be responsible for their own people.
Sheriff's deputies say this group cannot block roads when the buses do arrive, and it's not clear at this point when that could happen. Fox 4's Sean Rabb has been following this process here in Dallas County, talking about unaccompanied children coming here. Sean.
Yes, Heather, certainly haven't seen anything like that here, though the children aren't here yet. But what we are seeing, certainly right now anyway, is an outpouring of concern and compassion from the faith community. And today, for the very first time now, we see a team from the federal government on the ground here looking over the sites that have been selected to temporarily house the kids caught in the border crisis. Federal teams are on the ground in Dallas inspecting sites where immigrant children will transition. By some estimates, 94,000 unaccompanied children will filter into the United States through Texas by year's end, 2,000 at a time in Dallas.
We'll have the capacity to have 200 beds, and the beds will turn on an average of 21 to 35 days.
The number of children to be helped here depends on how long the transition shelters will be open.
If we're open for the minimum time of 120 days, then that would be 12,000 children. If we're open for the more likely amount of time of 240 days, then that'd be about 25,000 of the children.
God, wake us up.
A Serving Migrant Children Summit at Park Cities Baptist Church, bringing together faith leaders to talk about how they and their congregations can help.
The question for us is how we as a faith community can welcome those amongst us who are strangers. And that's been a biblical call for thousands of years, and we live it today.
God, you know that we have watched the news.
Some at this summit have already been working at the crisis epicenter on the border.
You can change and make that change happen.
So it's been a revival of compassion as the churches have come together, regardless of, denominations, religions, and saying we have a crisis at hand and we, the church, need to respond as the church.
As we are one step closer to the border crisis kids coming here. Now, that federal team in Dallas on the ground made up of Health and Human Services, FEMA, the Office of Inspector General, and the Office of Refugee Settlement, inspecting two facilities today in Dallas, one in Grand Prairie tomorrow. County Judge Jenkins still expects to have kids begin coming here to North Texas by the end of the month, hoping to start retrofitting those buildings this weekend even, or certainly early next week. Heather?
All right, Sean, thank you.
Okay.